Ladies and gentlemen, are you baby ready to go?
I'm ready as I'm going to be. We got to get going so we get cooled down. Jeez.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we're over 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. What we don't really have an air conditioner. We have a cooler, a heat
We do.
sink.
We have a mini split, so it generally cools the place fine. But
it just blew up when I turned it on to cool over the show. So we are like little Bowser and Sha Na Na going on. We're both sleeveless and dressed in black.
Holy cats, it's hot, you guys.
So it's very hot, you guys. I've got a. I'll find the thermometer, thermostat, whatever you call it, somewhere.
That's right.
All right, let's switch. No, it's on the thing. And here we are back here. Yay, everybody! We got some new boom arms. They're pretty slick.
They are. That's pretty nice, too, so that you don't see my microphone's right here. You don't really see it, which is very nice.
I've got mine right up here. So drop mine down and smooch, a little smooch. All right, we got one hell of a show for you guys today if we make it through without passing out from the heat. Oh, my God, the heat.
Holy cats, you guys.
And it's also the humidity. It's all over the place. All of it is bothering me all at once.
It's almost the end of August, and we have had, we live in Southern California, as you guys know, and we... Southern California experiences an El Nino in the winter, which is a lot wetter and colder than normal. And the other weather effect that happens is the La Nino. And the La Nino happens in the warm weather months, and you get quite a mild summer. And we have had that, except this week.
Yeah, this week's...
and today our AC went out. Yay!
I got sweat in places we don't talk about. That's what we do. All right, so coming on the show, we've got a
nice to see you
general catch up from the summer. We have an update on Shakedown the Crypt Book 1. We have a new Predator book out. We're going to talk about that. The 9/1 p.m. Bumrush. We all got to be paying attention for that one. If you remember, we did a very famous Bumrush thing way back in 2007 for Ancestor and launched the whole career. So this is a smaller version, a fun version. Update from the Sheboygan Writing Retreat with some pictures. Got some cool stuff there.
Did you do that?
Yep.
Good, thank you. I totally forgot.
And, of course, let's go through the basics. SIG text 855-955-5095. That's SIG text to 855-955-5095. We're getting a little closer on the website. If you are signed up for these text alerts, once the website launches, you get a big fat 10% coupon off.
Sweet.
It's definitely coming. And then send out a newsletter today. If you did not get it, you might want to sign up at scottsligler.com/newsletter. Much of the stuff in the newsletter is being covered in different places in different ways, but you would have heard it first. So now we get rid of that. All right, that's that. Let's go. Can you hand me the book?
Sure.
It's like a 1980s Dawkins song. Eyes of the Demon. George Lynch going off.
Are you jumping past?
I did.
You did.
Oh shoot! I did do that. Well, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
I did totally. I got. So here we go. Predator, Eyes of the Demon. It's out. Got my name on the cover. I have one story in here called Dead Man's Switch. I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of good stories in here. Stephen Graham Jones, Peter Brigg, Linda D. Addison. Let's just go real quick. Let's go talk about some other famous names in here. Some of it's reprints. Brian Thomas Schmidt's story. He's very pumped. He's the editor of this, and it was the #1 science fiction anthology paperback on Amazon. He was super pumped.
Hey, Steven.
Yvonne
Nice
Navarro, who's super cool. Ginny Koch, and okay, so there you go. And of course, Jonathan the Man Mayberry. So we have that is out. And oh wait, 1 second.
So if you guys are interested in getting an autographed copy of that, and you're fans of Jonathan Mayberry too, you can reach out to Mysterious Galaxy. You guys know how to do that. You can Google Mysterious Galaxy San Diego. Do it that way too. And Scotty's going in on Friday to sign copies. And so if you want him to sign it, that'll get done this weekend. If you have other people on that list who live in San Diego, which I think is just Jonathan Mayberry, and you want him to sign it too, that'll have to be a separate thing. But you can go ahead and do that, and the folks at Mysterious Galaxy will take care of you.
So there's a handy link for you if you go to scottsligler.com and then click the books link, or scottsligler.com/books, and you will scroll down and you will see it. And if you want an autographed copy, we'd make it so easy for you. Autographed copy right there. Lay them down and smack them, yak them. We got it all covered. So there you go. All right. And now we go back to Maine, and A wants to talk about this right here. Boop.
So you guys know, once a month, the first Saturday of every month, Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg in the chat room on Facebook hosts a very, very, very long, it's like 7 hours long, it's awesome, happy hour. You can just pop in and pop out. Scott is not going to be at home. He's going to be at a rehearsal on Saturday night, but I am going to be at home without him here, so I'm probably going to be on quite a bit. Especially if we don't have AC. I might be outside. I don't know. But hopefully we have AC.
You know what? Well, we can look into that. We can set a computer out on the porch.
Oh, yeah. I already do that. But we might do that next week. Anyhow,
okay.
That's this coming Saturday. It starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can find the link. I'm sure that Steve can put it in
hey,
there.
Tori.
But you can also find it on Facebook. All the events are there on Facebook. It's the first Saturday of every month. Starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Ends at 11 p.m. Pacific time. And I will see you there this Saturday.
Okay. CRYPT update. I don't have any fancy graphic for you this time, but I can tell you we are in the what could be the final draft right now. But the first thing I have to do is I have to go through all of... I have to get my calculator for this, guys. I have to go through all of the edits to give you an idea. And a lot of things are like there's style... Oh, switch over here. There's stylistic things like I put a space between each side of an M dash or an ellipses, and the editor's gone through and removed some of those spaces and different ways of... Like today we went through... it's a military-based story, so I go yes sir without the comma, which is allowed, but by the Chicago Manual of Style, which is our main reference book. But of course, most grammarians just bristle at that. So a lot of stuff like that. But I got to tell you, it's a calculator here. So there are 125,000 words in it. Divide that by 250, the average number of pages or words per page. Multiply that by, I would say, conservatively, there are 15 marks per page. I did that wrong. 125,000 divided by 250 equals times 15 equals... so that's right. I did it right the first time. So it's at least 7,500 times I have to go through and click approve or decline. So it's going to take a little while. But I think about 7% through the draft right now. And news update, we've been telling you it will be out in 2022. It will not. It will be out in 2023 because Athon, the publisher, is going to do a simultaneous launch. So print... probably hardcover, paperback, ebook, audiobook, all at the same time. The audiobook, of course, hopefully we're going to land our buddy Ray Porter. Mm-hmm. And Ray's very much in demand, so it's taken me this long to get here, so now we have to get in line for Ray.
Yeah.
And I'm not even done yet. So now they start hedging the bet, say, Ray, might you be available about this time? Hopefully Scott will be done by then. We're going to go from there.
I will just get ahead of this and say, no, Scott will not narrate if Ray Porter can't. No.
Correct.
He will only ever narrate the GFL, and once the GFL is done, he will stop narrating so he can get more stories out of his noggin into your hands. So I know that question comes in quite a lot.
Into there.
But that's not even on the... Not potentially on the table. It's a 5-book series, and he's not going to start it because he's not going to finish it. I mean, he's going to write it. He's not going to record it.
A cool new thing we have. What did I do with it? Oh yes, let's go back to books. Boom, and then we go to turn that off. Go to books, and turn this on. I'm a little confused. There we go.
There we go.
If you go to audible.com, they have a new thing. You could say look up The Rookie or Mount Fitzroy, whatever you want. By the way, I asked if we could get up over 1,000 ratings. Look at this beast. 1,147. Thank you guys. 4.6 average. So while you're at Audible, if you have not reviewed The Rookie, all the GFL books, go ahead, slap those stars about their face and their midriff. But if you go here, now you go to, here. So if you go to any of my books, click my name, there's a brand new thing called Follow.
See you right there?
Can follow. Boom. I am now following Scott Sigler.
That is so new that I got my email yesterday. You guys may have had your email. They're rolling out this week, obviously. If you are an Audible listener, if you want to do that, we would very much appreciate it, just in case this somehow matters. But I think it will for them. They have been we have a great relationship with Audible, and they've been really, really good to us. So if this is a new thing they're starting and we can help ourselves and them in the process, we'd like to do that. Also, feel free to follow all of your favorite authors in the very same way. You just have to click on their name at Audible. Yep. Do Scott's first, though.
Yeah, do mine. Do me first. Do me first. By the way, I am rocking out to the new Hailstrom record, Back from the Dead, I think it is. Anyways, fan of heavy metal bands with an incredibly over-the-top, powerful female lead singer. I suggest you check out Hailstrom. Their latest record's awesome. But there's a song in there called "I Come First," sung by her. So, a little bit sassy, perhaps, but I enjoy it. I thought it was fabulous.
And if you never quite got to make it to a Sigler Fest, especially not in the last few years. One of Empty Set's favorite songs is Hailstorm's This Is Us.
This Is
so
Us.
You can Spotify that or just YouTube it and hear
great.
that.
It's
definitely
I love them to death.
a great
They're
song.
a fantastic band. So, okay, now we're getting back to the actual news. Ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time in 2007, I believe it was April 1st, April Fool's Day, Sigler Ascension Day, we bum-rushed the charts at Amazon. And this was a simple thing. No one had ever figured it out except the kid. And we figured it out. We had everybody go on that day. And they all went and bought Ancestor, the trade paperback, at the same time. And my fan base is big enough that launched it to #1 in sci-fi, #1 in horror, and was second in fiction, only behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So it was a big deal. It was up there, like up in that range, 2-3 days, and it led to me getting a new book deal, and everything is famous there. So we have a little mini version of that right now. This one is called. There we go. Darn it.
Oh, almost.
There it is. It's only, let me get this straight. People are already panicking. Calm your heart palpitations, ladies and gentlemen. Meditate. Get into your own zone. The new podcasts I'm about to talk about are all going to be on all of the pod catchers, pod services, pod things. So if there's a Google podcast, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on iHeartRadio, it will be, of course, on Apple iTunes. So everything we're covering here does not mean you won't get to listen to it if you're not using Apple Podcasts. However, if you are using Apple Podcasts, you should go there on what? Oh, I didn't make a graphic. I should have made a graphic. The name of this bum rush is 9/1 p.m. What? Oh, it's fabulous. So you in your time zone, when it's 1 o'clock on your watch, not Pacific time, your watch, on September 1st, just swing over to Apple Podcasts, go to your search box, type in Scott Sigler Nocturnal. Don't like this now, guys. Don't do this right now. I'm asking you to do this on 9/1. And then you just click on Nocturnal, and you click this little follow button.
But it's important to do it on September 1st at 1 p.m. in your time zone. And we're kind of hoping to gamify that algorithm like Scott did in 2007.
We'll see what happens.
And we'll see what happens. But don't worry if you're Android. This will be a platform agnostic new access to the podcast that we're doing. So don't worry about it if you don't have Apple. It's coming for you too.
So, and this is, let me go, I'll get to chat in a second. This is an effort by Evo Terra and Alley Press, who've been working with us for a while. We're going to take all of the back catalog podcasts. We're going to put them up as individual properties or as a series property. So Nocturnal will be its own self-contained, ad-supported podcast up on all the podcatchers. And then Infected, Contagious, Pandemic will be another one. Hunter and Sons will be another one. So we're getting back into the podcast game, taking all the archive content, putting it back up. It's a slow rollout. We should be rolling stuff out throughout the end of the year. And at some point, we'll make a big stinky deal about it. But if we hit a couple of top 10s or a couple #1s on the podcast fiction charts, that's going to help with all of our efforts. So there you go. That's a little bit of news in that category.
Will you put this up so I can put her down? Put us in the whole screen. If you guys have never met, this is Cordelia, Penelope Lockett. Cordelia belongs to the goddamn dog sitters and is Stella, who you definitely know. This is Stella's younger sister, and she came home in the pandemic, and she's adorable, and we have Stella and Cordy here today. So I thought you might like to meet Cordy because you wouldn't have gotten to meet her at Siglerfest because she's younger than that. She is a total lover. She's just a sweetheart.
I did it yet again. Somebody just tweeted or texted, I got another live one, and I went to click on the name to reply, and the whole chat moved, and I think I just blocked it. God damn it. So if you suddenly got blocked, I am not good with this system.
But email us at info at
emptyset.
empty set. I don't know how to do that. Info at empty set, and we'll fix it. And he's going to go in after. He always goes in after the podcast to look at the things he blocked and fix anybody who looks, like they shouldn't have been blocked.
Dude, we're crushing this episode because we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah, we're speeding up because we're hot.
We're fueled by hot.
Jiminy Christmas. It's like 77 degrees here, but there's a billion lights that are right here.
Second floor. There's not much ventilation. There's a bunch of lights.
Howard
there's all
says
the
it was
recording
Tony
gear.
Whitaker.
There's Tony Whitaker.
Tony Whitaker's right there.
Where?
Well, he just.
Yay, Tony Whitaker.
It might not be Tony.
Okay, back to chat. Okay, Tony Whitaker, are you really re-releasing all your previous podcast books, or is just the first of a series? The goal is to take everything that we own, put it all back up, in the podcast, and then do that in the serialized style, the way we originally released everything, and run ads against it and see how we do. And some of those ads, of course, will be, we're trying to get back into this, to grab more of that podcast audience, get more people to discover me through the discovery of these things. And they'll be able to do things like, hey, I got a new book coming out called The CRYPT, and we'll be able to drop our own audiobook ads in, any ads we want, because when we launch the new website, we're going to be focused more on merchandising it, taking all the stuff we have, being able to tie it together with all the other stuff, and Star Wars approach it.
We are right in the process of that website. It's not quite ready yet, but soon enough, and so we wanted to kind of combine these all together. If you're just joining, I will say, if you got the newsletter today and you can't participate in the Apple Bum Rushing the Church thing on 9/1 at 1 p.m. in your time zone, please don't worry. There's no way to join unless you join on an Apple platform, right? Yeah, there's no way unless you join on an Apple platform. But what you can do for us, if you have an Audible subscription, is go to Audible, click on Scott's, pick any book of Scott's, click on his author name when you get to that book, and press the follow button.
Yep.
And
that follow button right there
is right below his name once you get to the author page. You can do that for us in this couple of weeks while we're going to bum rush the charts.
And the bum rush the charts is only if you're using the new Apple Podcast app. So I don't think there's a way to do it on the older ones. So if you're on Monterey and you have got the new Apple Podcast app, whenever that came in, you can do it that way. All right. So, and we'll mention again, we sent out a newsletter today. Oh, shit, did I mention newsletter?
Eric, you will not see the original Nocturnal. Eric Fisher asks, will we see the original Nocturnal on this? No,
sorry.
You will not. That just like the current podcast that we're currently releasing is the original Rookie. You will never be able to download that unless you do it right now while it's live in the feed. It will never go into an archive. It will not be part of the podcast network. Likewise, Nocturnal, the original Nocturnal, will also never be its own episode, its own on the podcast channel, because it confuses the marketplace for new readers. That's the whole reason for it. We can't be the brand that gives you two versions of the Rookie if you have a 6-year-old first grader who loves football and you choose the wrong one, something like that. So we're not doing that, but if you join Sigler Junkies and you make sure they know that you're a true junkie, I bet you can get it from somebody in Sigler Junkies.
Yeah, there are connections out there, you guys. There are connections. So, but we just put those old ones out for your old schoolers, a little bit of treat for the new schoolers who never heard it. They get a chance to hear it, so it goes pretty good. Let's get to the pup dates, ladies and gentlemen. Dun, 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 dun. As you can tell, we're big fans of dogs. Let's get the pup date.
Did you meet Cordy? She's so
and in
cute.
the bottom right,
there's my Stella Bella.
We're babysitting Cordy and Stella, and that's Reese staring at a fly. She only gets that level of intensity when there is an insect flying about the kitchen. That's it. Other rest of the time, she's laid back. What's that?
Potentially a treat.
I don't think so, because Stella's looking at the camera, so maybe. And then our big pup pick of the week, ladies and gentlemen, NFL football is here. We have watched a couple of preseason games. We're pumped for the season to start. And so there you go.
Yay!
As you know, I am vehemently opposed to dressing dogs against their will. However, there are 2 cases where I'll make an exception. This is one of them, because you've got a referee and a Reese football, and the other one is my rap album cover with Reese, where we both have the hoodies on. Those are the only 2 acceptable ones.
And he was also okay when Squeaky had her knee surgery in 2019. She wore a little, like a onesie, so that she didn't lick out her incision. He was okay with that too. This main photo with very, very young Reese and very, very young Stella was also taken by Amy Reed, who's in the Facebook chat room tonight. So cute. So cute.
I love that dog more every day, and when she croaks, I'm going to be a disaster, but she's awesome. Here we go. Boom. Pup show.
Okay, well these are junkie pets. They're so cute. This is Jenna Lee and Daryl. They're in the chat room. I think they're in the chat room from Facebook, but sometimes they join on Twitch too. This is Margot, and that's the mail basket. When mail comes in, that's the so Margot's apparently waiting for a letter. But she's stinking adorable with that little cute pink nose.
Let's see if this works.
And there's another one. Oh, did it work?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Yep.
Nope, I got off kilter, so I got to go back to here. And now, there we go.
This is also Margot. Genelia says this is Margot helping her work, which I totally understand. So adorable. My goodness.
And then laces out, Dan. Very good, Sean. And then we go to.
And this also, I know. Look at this.
Cutie.
This is Sadie. Sadie is actually Jenny and Daryl's grandpup, and this is after a bath. You can tell she's got a little bit of a wet little face there. So adorable. She's such a sweetheart.
There you go. And now we got the last
one. I love this. We every once in a while we get a photo like this, and there's a like torn up hardcover book, and we always say if we can replace that book for you, as long as we're allowed to publish the photo, we will do that. But this is Von Hyde's pup Echo, with the remains of his latest conquest. He's a year old, and he has left the backyard at Von's house strewn with corpses of stuffed animals. And they say we've even tried getting those indestructible toys, but he just took that as a challenge. He seems like a very good boy.
All right, we're going to move on to Junkie Fix and Siglebrations, but coming up, a review of the writing retreat. We went on with Rob Otto to Sheboygan, Michigan, and some Vacay pics, and we'll do a couple of questions. I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is not going to make it a full hour. I did not intend to go to the sauna today.
Would you just go back to the main screen because we don't have photos for all the Siglebrations?
Boom.
There we go. So we do have a few. It's been a while since we have had Siglebrations without photos, but it's also been a while since we had a Sigler in place. So there you go. We've got several that are real important before we get to pictures. The first, Ruth Carter. They're in the chat room tonight. And the last time that we had a Sigler in place a while back, they had either just finished or were just about to run an Ironman in Lake Placid, which they completed. Congratulations. I think we talked about that. I know he did a ring walk up, but on August 6th of this year, they celebrated 18 years of sobriety. And the cool thing about Ruthie is they're all in for you to raise a glass to toast their sobriety. So if you're feeling like to do that, you can. Since it's 1 billion degrees here, we're not drinking alcohol because that wouldn't be a good plan. But we're going to do that too. Cheers.
There's not enough ice in this house. Okay, you keep
next, going. Related to Ruthie, they helped us get our trademark. So as of I think it was last month or the month before maybe, Empty Set Entertainment is a trademarked name, which we're very excited about. Not that we haven't been using that little circle with the R in it whenever we felt, or a TM whenever we wanted to.
I throw those out any darn time I want to.
But now it's actually true. So thank you so much, Ruthie, for that, and we're very excited about that. And then last, I know Kim Hansen is no longer here because she said she's driving for the next hour, but you can catch up on this later. She sent in two. August 21st, which was just a couple of days ago, her husband, whose name is Lawrence but goes by Mystic Lion, he's an artist, celebrated his 70th birthday. So happy birthday to you, Mystic Lion. And she said her nephew Chase also graduated from Physician's Assistant School in Hawaii this month, which is especially cool because he has ADHD and spent many years not understanding why he couldn't study or succeed like the other kids. Self-diagnosed himself, got some help, and now graduated from Physician's Assistant School. So very good news for Chase and for Kim's whole family.
Right, for the victory train horn. Woo, woo. Victory train horn.
And now we've got some photos for Siglebrations. You guys, this one's very special. These are very fun. I got them in order. Ready? Yeah, if not, I'll work with what you got. So this, if you don't know, is Scott Big Fish Pond. Uh-oh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Scott Pond. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Scott is a very good friend of ours. As you guys know, Scott and his wife Tori and their kid, the Munchkin, have over the years been helped Empty Set a whole lot. Tori sends out posters. Scott is our in-house graphic designer. He kind of gets the first crack at almost all the things that we do. You guys know he has his own business, Scott Pond Designs, which you can find on Etsy, and he does a lot of Sigler-related things as well.
Yeah.
Today is his birthday. He's 50 years old today. Love you very much. I'm so glad that you are being celebrated and toasted far and near, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
I hope you tie one on for your birthday. Don't know why you're a pirate, but there you go. Next one. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Bang.
Yeah. So the rainbow-colored person here is my very, very dear friend, Alicia Vickery. She is cosplaying at Siglerfest 2018 as Sparkle Horse, which was absolutely fantastic. She's a very dear friend of mine. Yesterday was her 50th birthday. She's actually not here this evening because she is out celebrating with friends at an outdoor concert. But I love you very much. I hope you had a great day yesterday. And check wherever packages come, because apparently while you were at the concert,
hey, check your package, you right? And in this picture, she's standing next to the lead singer of Trench Warfare.
Yes, Somalia Midori.
So pretty fantastic.
Cosplayed by Sherry Hare here. But yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. This is the redhead here. That is Shannon Chavaria, and the blonde is Jen Sherwood. And this is tomorrow is their anniversary. They got married. They had a commitment ceremony 15 years ago when it was not legal to get married, have a same-sex marriage in their state.
They were gangsters.
Yeah, they were badass. They're still badass. And then 7 years ago, when it was legal, they picked the same day to do the same thing. If you guys don't know this, if you're not already familiar with Shannon and Jen, who are both in the Facebook chat room tonight, that bouquet that Shannon is holding to secret a kiss with her new spouse is the white flowers are pages of books. I don't think they all are. Maybe they all are. I don't know. But I know that the white flowers are pages of books. And the book that Shannon chose for her wedding bouquet was Nocturnal. And then when we got married in 2020, she gifted me. It was going to be a borrowed, but after the wedding, she gave it to me. She gifted me one of those flowers so that I could tuck it into my bouquet as my borrowed. And now it's mine anyway.
That gets a victory train. Right? Woo, woo. Now I'm an owl.
Oh, apparently.
Now it's victory owl.
Hoot, hoot.
Okay, I came off again.
I don't know if there might be one more.
There we go.
Yeah, and this is, you guys know Ollie and Kelly Kirby. It is the 25th right now in Australia, and it is also their 15th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations, man.
And if you guys are remember from earlier in SIGLERinPLACE this year and late last year, their daughter Clara we were all gunning for Clara to make it into the big wide world. Scott was a little disappointed that they didn't name her Scott Sigler Kirby.
Well,
but Clara is lovely.
It's her middle name, though.
Yeah.
Clara Scott Sigler Kirby.
Definitely not.
So we should all name your children. My name.
So I believe that those are all of the celebrations that we have.
All right. Well, we got something fun for you now. We got a little recap of we went to Sheboygan, Michigan. Rob Otto and I went to Sheboygan, Michigan for how long were we there, sweetie?
We were there for 8 days.
8 days. We got through I would say 70 pages of the screenplay Rob and I are working on, except we then threw out 15 of those pages, wrote some more, then threw out 13 of those pages, and now we're probably about to throw out some more. So I'd say it's about half done. And
so they were writing the entire week, and they sat at the kitchen table and wrote for days and days and days. And I was the cook. That was the deal. I got up every morning. I made them breakfast while they were already working. Then I went about my business. This was in the town that Scott and Rob and Dan Baker, who's in the chat room, grew up in.
Yep. So,
and it was really important to me. I really wanted to see it because it's important to them. And I was so excited to go, and it was even better than I expected. It was really a great, great week.
This was our view every morning. We're going to show many views in the morning. But this was, I tell you what, I've done a lot of stuff for my writing career. I've traveled a bunch. I've got to see some awesome places. Everything is super special. But this was absolutely fantastic. Set the whole thing up for Rob and I. We were able to focus on just writing, and you're the best. You're the
Thank
best
you
thing
very
in the
much.
whole world.
Yeah. I do have to thank Rob, though, because Rob, if you have had the pleasure of meeting Rob, he's an enormously lovely, laid-back, super nice, really, really intelligent dude. And like after 2 days, he was like, I do love your breakfast, but I think Scott will eat everything on his plate, and they are very big breakfasts.
Yep.
And then he has to take a nap. Yeah. And so he made smaller breakfasts, and it worked out
a lot of midday
way
naps.
better.
So this is what we woke up to every morning. Then this is a sunrise over Mullet Lake.
That's the fire pit that was in our backyard.
A little J.J. Abrams action going on right there. I have light beams, he's light flares, I don't know, whichever. But this was the backyard. You'll see that fire pit again in a moment. Absolutely gorgeous. This is where we were, Danny and Robbie and I were pretty much every day, every summer, was at one point or another getting to the beach of Mullet Lake. It was great. This is me. This is my fancy sleeping bag slippers, which are awesome.
Which you don't have on right now. Oh, you do have on right now, even though it's a billion degrees in here.
The first day I went out and sat and got a picture of this. I can't remember if Rob did we get there the same time? Rob came a little later. Rob came a little
like
later.
an hour and a half later.
So this, Rob and I would go out every morning I would have coffee. I don't think he's a coffee drink. He would get some water or whatever. And there were 2 Adirondack chairs. And like an old married couple, we would sit and talk all morning long. It was fantastic. We would start talking about the town back in the day or whatever. Eventually, like within minutes, it became talking about the screenplay. And we were able to hack through a lot of ideas. Looking at this particular view, it was great. This is a sunset over Mullet Lake. Pretty spectacular. I took this picture the day after the moon was just like right there for the sunset. We did get some pretty good moon pictures though, but that's pretty sweet. That's what we looked at every day. Here is a full moon in Sheboygan, Michigan.
A little less maybe than that.
I think it was a super moon or something like that. And this is what the iPhone did with it. I love it. I thought it was a great picture. We had a fantastic time with it. And here is the love of my life, but with that same moon. I had to go in and get her. She was like already in bed. I go, baby, you want to see the moon over the lake? She's like, yes, I do. And she got it, and we went out. It was super fun. Then we spent, I would say, an hour or so, hour and a half. We, like little kids, we laid down on the end of the dock and stared up into the sky, and there's little to no light pollution in Sheboygan. Yeah. So we got to see, you could see the Milky Way. We were pointing out all of the constellations. I've got a star chart app on the phone. It was just absolutely magical time.
I don't know how to do that Michigan thing, which is it this way or this way?
If you face the other way? Yeah, if you're facing the camera, because then they see it like that.
Okay, so can you put the big picture?
Yep.
So just so you guys know, Sheboygan is right here. It's really, really, really far away from everything, and except for Sheboygan itself. So it was very cool. If you go back, can you go back to that other picture and stop flipping off our fans?
I'm not flipping off fans. I'm showing the tip of the Michigan.
You can see in this photo the dock there on the edge of the photo, and we went all the way out there, which also prevented many bugs. So we got to lay there for like an hour and could see the Milky Way behind the stars. It was the coolest thing.
Crystal clear night. It doesn't look like that picture, but it was crystal clear night. No, the next night we went on the dock. This is flat, but it was awesome. And then this, ladies and gentlemen, was so clear. That is Jupiter. That was Jupiter reflecting off of Lake Michigan, and I've never seen a star reflect off of water before. I was very moved. I was very verklempt. And if we have time, we'll talk about that. It's starting to cool down a little bit. If you want to see it,
it's definitely cooling down.
I think this vacation changed my perspective on things. So we're going to go over that. Ready?
And I will tell you, Ollie Kirby, you asked, is this on like Airbnb or VRBO? It isn't. This was actually a really interesting thing for me. If you guys don't know, I grew up in New York, spent a lot of time in New York City. I have a different being raised experience than Scott did and Robbie did. However, I tried to find a place in Michigan on Mullet Lake in Sheboygan, and I couldn't do it. And then we asked a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Robbie asked somebody who got in touch with somebody who said, no, look at, I think it was rentmichigancabins.com. Either it's that or it was rentnorthernmichigancabins.com. And those are two separate websites doing the same thing but in different parts of Michigan. And I found this place, and I found two places, and this one I submitted I would like to go, and they said, well, that would be good, but we need to talk to you before we agree. And so the next day he called me, the manager, and he asked me a whole bunch, like, what are you doing? And I said, my husband and one of his lifelong friends, writers, they're going to write a screenplay. We wanted to do it in their hometown. And he said, hometown? What's your husband's name? And I said Sigler, which mine was at the time too. And that didn't ring a bell so much. And then I said Otto, and I guess Rob, they both have, and he was like, well, I know that there are still Ottos in Sheboygan. I think this would be fine. And then he sent me a rental agreement, but I had to talk with him by voice before he would do that. And he asked me, did I grow up there? And I thought, I'm going to get fired. I'm not going to get this lake house. And I was like, no, sorry, I grew up in New York. But he didn't care.
All right. Back to vacation.
It was really fun.
It was super fun. And then there's Rob and our high school classmate, Carol Yeck, and we got to build a frickin' fire, guys, and a fire pit. It was just like back in the day. It was awesome. Sat around. Charlie Deerdorf was there. We got to see Mike Van Fleet. Just see an absolute bunch of people. And then that's Jody. That's our friend Jody Kitchen who came out, and she's awesome.
She's Jody Ginnup now. I met her as Jody Ginnup. Jody Ginnup. Help me, Jody Ginnup.
Kitchen Ginnup.
Because she's been married forever, but they knew her as Jody.
As her husband was known, we played football together. Ginnup Ginnup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there you go. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to put in my my weight chart, but I gained an enormous amount of weight on this trip, an enormous amount of weight. And it turns out it all went to the gluteus maximus area, apparently. So A was driving Rob and I around, and we were getting schnackered going to all the Sheboygan bars. And we went to a bar, and
it was the last night we were there.
The little brother of one of the guys we hung out with in high school was playing live at one of the bars. We're like, great, so we go to see him. Turned out a couple of things. Is two things I've learned is when you eat a whole lot on vacation, you gain a whole lot of weight. And if you gain a whole lot of weight and you drop it like it's hot, things like this can happen.
Yeah.
So I tore my buttocks cheek out while dancing, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done dancing for the night. So I'm like, I got waddle over. I'm gonna sit down in the chair. I'm finished. I'm gonna keep drinking.
No, I came out to you.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't
wave
see
to
it.
you?
No, I saw him kind of react, and I scooted over to him, and he says, I think I split my pants. And I was like, oh, I'm sure you didn't. And he's like, okay, no, I think I split my pants.
There you go.
And I was wearing a sweater, a little light sweater. And I was like, okay, do you want this to wrap around your waist for, modesty?
Yeah.
And he does. And I turn around and go back to the bar to sit at the bar stools. And I get there and I turn around thinking he's walking with me because he's dropped it like it's hot and split his pants. And he's out on the dance floor. Now that he's got that problem fixed, he's still rocking.
Baby came to my rescue. There was rocking to be done, ladies and gentlemen, and I was not going to leave that rock not done. That's not how we do in the Sigler house. So back to vacation. So there you go. These were my favorite jeans. They've been retired. I just dropped. It's like dance, drop, rip. Okay. Guess I'm going to go sit at the bar for a while. It was very fun. Very fun. Let's go. And this was in the whole cabin was done in all of this lovely plan. It was so friggin' ridiculously awesome. And this is Rob and I, and don't bother screenshotting it. This is Rob and I, this is our workflow. We're trying to set the screenplay up in a basic 4-act structure. And the cards on top were things that had been already pulled out of the timeline and held on to for later. And then there was a whole corner of crumpled up cards. And that's about as far as I got. Did a little bit more than that, but it was really fun. We just put up the butcher paper and the masking tape and the cards and went crazy. And the final picture from Sheboygan, Michigan,
yay!
From Mullet Lake, from Rob Otto and I. We salute you, and I hope you guys liked watching my slideshow of my vacation. Took all the pictures myself.
So this actually is how they started it together or separately. They both would go out to this dock into those Adirondack chairs and kind of before 9 a.m., which was start time and breakfast time, kind of hang out there and, like Scott said, talk a little bit. And this was the end of the day because they both have cocktails. And it was important to us, at least important to me, that they put a pin in every day or that part of the day by spending a little time and doing that. And then just like last year when Rob came out here and they wrote a screenplay, we had some dinner, and not every night, like I said, on Friday night we went out, but and Thursday night we had the friends in the fire pit, but every other night there was research to be done. There was movies to watch and things like that so that they could get closer to their vibe that they were going for their story.
A mullet is a kind of fish, sir. So even though the official hairstyle of a mullet is named after people in Sheboygan, Michigan, who lived around Mullet Lake, that's where the name mullet comes from, it's also the name of a fish. You can go catch mullet. It's a fact. You can ask Rob. Ask Rob. It's in the chat room right now.
I feel like asking Rob is not the answer.
The mullet haircut is named, I think it was early 70s. People from Sheboygan were, there was business in front, party in the back, and people would go to the lake from downstate, look at the lake, like, what are all these guys? That's a mullet because they were on Mullet Lake.
I say no way. I say no.
You don't know anything, woman.
I say no.
Woman knows nothing. No, Rob Tinnerell, I cannot drop it like it's hot more on camera because I can't afford that many pants. I can't. Those are my favorite jeans, dog. My favorite jeans. However, I've dropped 3 of the enormous amount of weight I gained since we got back, and I'm trying to get it down. So
I will say we also spent a week prior to this last week in Michigan, visiting friends and family, and that was also fun. I will say that Mullet Lake and Sheboygan was really special for me, but I also got to see family and friends, and that was really special too. Altogether, we had 2 big trips this summer, as you guys know. One was in July. We got back from that, the family wedding, with the exception of the COVID that Scott got. That was a perfect trip. We didn't have any flight delays and nothing like that. This whole trip, perfect. Didn't have any trouble on any of the flights, anything like that. And it's great because all I read most of the year moving into the summer was, this summer air travel is going to be terrible.
We did good.
We did good.
We got lucky. It was wonderful.
Good, yeah.
All right. So let's see. It is. It's a 1:45. Would you like to do questions? I think we're done. I don't have anything left. We're to junkie questions.
Sure.
Writing retreat, vacay pics. I've raved about the retreat. I will say, this will sound a little weird and hippie and spiritual and whatever, but there was a part of the purpose of this retreat was to set a fixed deadline for me to get the CRYPT done, the second draft of the CRYPT done and off to Athon, because I did not want to spend time on this retreat when I'm supposed to be focusing on a new project with Rob. I didn't want to spend time double timing trying to finish that at the same time, or not be able to sleep every night because I'm upset because I missed my deadline and my whole career is going to collapse and we're going to be penniless and insane in the gutter. That's pretty much how my mental process goes. So we got that done, and I forget where I was going with this. The stars. So we get that done, and then that going to the going to of the cabin was meant to be a change for me as a creator. So A and I are now working on, instead of me working 10, 12, sometimes 14-hour days, and everything being second to the work and getting the work done, getting the next book out and putting money on the table or food on the table. Now it's more, we're trying to fix it more of a regular 8-hour day. Of course, there'll be overruns from time to time, but try and enjoy the evenings with A more and get to spend more time doing fun stuff. I hadn't touched the bass guitar in like 8 weeks coming into this thing. So where I'm getting to is that time we got to spend on the end of the dock. It was really awesome because I got to lay on the dock, stare up at the Sheboygan. There's stars for everybody.
Yeah,
but they're Sheboygan stars.
They're not mullet stars.
It's the same stars. The mullet stars are the ones with the party in front and the business in the back.
I thought those were comets.
It's a little bit different. That is a comet. A comet is a mullet. A comet is an intergalactic mullet. That's fantastic. But laying on the dock and staring up, well long enough for your eyes to adjust, being able to see the Milky Way and looking up all the names of the stars and everything. It was wonderful for my perspective on, why am I killing myself so much with all this stuff? And there are a billion stars that don't give two wet shits about anything that we do, and billions of stars. Yeah. And it was just kind of this thing to be like,
hey, Mike Deschamps.
I got to spend. I'm a fairly happy guy, I'd say, even though I got my moments. I got to spend a little bit more time focusing on the good stuff, focusing on the happy stuff, hanging out with this tomato right here, and just doing it. So it was really spectacular. So getting to hang out in Sheboygan, be up there with Rob, work on a cool project, stare up at the stars, and get some redefined perspective on my life. It was really great.
And since he brought this up, I'll say on Friday, so of course they grew up there. They have friends, family, everything. So there was a handful of moments. The house that Rob grew up in is now an antique store, and we got to go in, and I, of course, never went to Rob's home when Rob lived there, his childhood home. I didn't meet him until we were full-blown adults at 40 years old, right? So we go, and he is kind of narrating, walking through, and right here where this display is, that was the family room. And then Scott recognized, I guess Scott saw the same thing, but Scott recognizes where they gamed a lot. They would sit on the floor and game in this room and stuff like that. And for me, it was visibly trippy for Scott to sort of see this place that isn't the place that he spent all his time gaming and whatnot, but still is that same place. The crazy thing was, it was kind of trippy for me too, because we got to visit Dan Baker's mom, who lives in the house that Dan Baker, who's in the chat room, grew up in. And that was insanity too, because the boys sort of talked, Rob and Scott talked with her about, wait a minute, but this wasn't here. And she, of course, has lived there for decades and has done extensive renovation. But she would sort of talk it through and say, no, this wall was not, there was a wall right here and everything else, and it happened again. And for somebody who's lived in a billion different places like me, seeing that I have a friend, Dan, who's in the chat room, officiated at our marriage. I know him as a full-grown adult, and I've been to his home, and it's weird that now I've been to the home he grew up in. It's kind of fun and trippy and weird, and that was really special for me. But also on Friday, Sheboygan now has a history museum, and we went there. and that tripped all three of us out. It was really
Awesome.
cool, and it's beautiful, and it's new, and there's a very old courthouse and jail that is on the property too.
Yep.
And I think an Ojibwe cabin from a
good question,
tribe
Holly. I
nearby,
don't know.
that kind of thing.
Yep.
And so that was kind of fun because we all three kind of tripped out about that and got to go through the old jail and stuff like that. It was very, very cool. Very, 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 very cool.
All right. Let's move on to, ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Questions.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got questions. We've got the lady from South Park about to show some porn on her TV.
Okay.
And that's not right because they are grade school kids and you'll go to jail. Don't.
So I know we have one from the chat room that we'll get to in
Oh.
a minute, but Christine McCullough, who is also still in the chat room, she's a Woogie Rocks, I think, on Twitch. She asked an Earthcore question. Some of the characters have turbines and ball hats. Are they over their cool suits? Because wouldn't the textiles catch on fire and burst into flames?
Excellent question, but no, it's not hot enough for textiles to burst into fire. Catch on fire and burst into flames.
Even though you could burn your skin? It has
Yep.
to be hotter than that?
Correct. Yeah. You can, yes, that is absolutely correct. You have to get it, like if you're going to burn a towel on a stove, you put in like 2 or 3 or 4, that's hot enough to wear you down after a while. It's not hot enough to start thing on fire. But you turn up to anything where it's glowing orange, then that thing will catch fire. It's not glowing orange temperatures.
Got it. All right, so Tony Whitaker asks if you could give a shout out. Do you want to just do this instead
Yes,
of me
I
asking
do.
you the whole question? But he's typing at the moment. So
I
I'll just say
have to do something for the Twitch people.
I will give you the fair warning. If you're thinking, oh, I live close to it. If you are in Michigan, Sheboygan is far away.
Okay.
So if you're thinking of headed there, like, oh, I'm going to be in Detroit, it's like 4.5 hours
Worth
from
it.
Detroit. So plan for that.
So, Tony Whitaker says, could you give a shout out to my son, Chance James, who is a fan of the GFL? He's enjoying his first year starting varsity at Fountain Central High School. Can you look up real quick, Fountain Central High School mascot? We got to do this right, dude. We got to do this right. We'll get back to this in a second. A is looking up the mascot name for Fountain Central High School. We can get that in the we get that in the chat room, maybe. Tony. Fountain Central High School mascot. Looks like the Mustangs.
Might be the Mustangs.
We're gonna go with the Mustangs. Okay. Hold on. Don't mind me. This is no big deal. In his first year, starting for varsity at the Fountain Central High School Mustangs. His best friend Austin is just beginning his first year of college ball at Wabash University. We wrestled those guys. I think I whooped a dude from Wabash. I'm not sure though because they were very good, and I was not.
Mike
I
Dude
was
is
not
in the
very
chat
good.
room, I think.
Okay, so there we go. Boom. Let's go on.
Let's see.
Let's go
I
to
gotta
questions.
get back. Yeah, I gotta get.
I
back to
gotta
the
roll
questions.
them. I gotta roll them white shoulders, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
They're so-
everybody's
look
talking
like
about that we're twinning and everything.
I look like a ghost.
It's no longer as hot as it was when the sun, because the sun right when we start is essentially like this right hitting our house,
God.
and then we put on all these lights and it was a lot. But now it's a lot better.
I'll answer this one from
Uh-oh.
Akil. Here we go. He asks, let's go to chat. Is there a place in Sheboygan
What a great
that you were banned from that you can now go back to and pull a pretty woman on them? Well, no, there's nothing quite like that. But Rob, Dan, and I were all on a Satan worshiper watch list because we played Dungeons and Dragons circa 1984. And I'm not making this up. We were on a Satan worshiper watch list with the district attorney for Sheboygan County. And and my parents like to tell the story, and Danny Baker's mom told the story.
Told
like,
me this story on Friday.
when we started playing, and she got called in to go talk to the administration because it was very important. She go talk to the administration, and she found out that she had been called in because her son was playing Dungeons and Dragons. She's like, "You mean the game with the paper?" Yeah. Like, yeah. She's like, and A summarized this quite well, but basically the parents were like, so my kids are at home doing math
that was Rob.
effectively. That was
Rob's-
Rob. At home doing math, and those are the ones you're worried about. So that I'm no longer on a Satan worship. I don't know though.
You
I don't know.
don't know. You
Kukoski
might
hasn't
still
been
be.
list anymore.
But it was this. It was like, so you're saying that you're worried because I know exactly where my children are. I know that they have parental supervision. I know that they're safe. They're not watching TV, and they're reading and doing math. And
Yeah,
Those
a
are the
lot of
people
math.
you're worried about.
Tracy,
So smart.
we did look very, very shady.
And with all those mullets going on.
As shady as nerds can get. Oh, I had a mullet. Because, represent, dog. There's two hairstyles. At one point, you have to have a mullet if you're from Sheboygan, and if you play football, you have to shave your head. So I just prefer to pretend like I'm still 16 and playing football. I can grow this hair anytime I want to.
Anytime you want to.
I can grow this hair anytime I want to. I have this look because it's the look that I want. Oops. That was supposed to be more dramatic if I hit the right button. All right. Let's go to questions. Oh, we've got questions.
From Kim Hansen, she asked a while back, which scene, character, or plot line changed the most from first draft to published book?
Gosh, with my memory, that's very difficult to come up with. I guess I will say Pookie Chang was supposed to die early, so that changed. That changed a lot.
There was, if you have the paperback of Infected, in the back of the paperback for Infected, there's the first 50 pages of Contagious. And in there, this is very minor, but it's sort of fun. In there, Perry says at one point, this is making me angry, and you really wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And I really enjoyed it. And then the book came out, like, very quickly after, because they were about 6 months apart, those two. Those two books, and it was gone from the actual copy-edited printed version of the hardcover, because I guess they didn't want to have to deal with any Hulk references or whatever. So I thought that was a cute, fun spoiler.
All right, that's the answer. No, that one. I can't really think. There's so many, and it kind of screws in my head a little bit, because sometimes I'll pick up a book and read it, and I'm like, wait, where's that section? And it turns out I edited that section like 2 drafts ago. So I prefer not to think of it. It gives me the shivers.
What is one thing that you would give up to be a better writer?
I would give up the weight I gained on vacation. I would give that up. I would give up my baldness to be a better writer. Apparently, it's a hair-themed.
It's a hair-themed show.
It's a hair-themed episode. What would I give up to be a better writer? Maybe one base.
Fair. I do
Maybe
think, is
one
there
base.
any chance that you decided you were going to be creative with writing? And because when we first met, you didn't really, you had a bass, you had one bass and you didn't play it.
Yeah.
Did you give that up to kind of focus on writing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Which is interesting, because I personally think, having worked with him and known him for so long now, that he is a better, more creative writer when he's also actively playing music. And I don't know why that is, but I think it's partially because it sort of calms his noggin down a little bit and lets him completely get out of the writing and do something else that he has to give all his creative attention to. And I also think it's just a hobby that is joyful for him, and I think that certainly adds. But that's, I'm just guessing.
Michael, I don't know if you saw it. The Sigler guns are out. Both of the Sigler guns are out on full display. I got my 14-inch pythons right here, ready to choke you into submission, brother. It's very fucking hot up here. That might be the first F-bomb I've dropped this whole show. It's very fucking hot. So we're not going to go. We have 5 minutes left. If we see any other questions in the chat room, we'll do them. Baby him another question, and then we will, mosey on out of here and go fire up the cold drinks downstairs.
This is a question he's answered before, but why not do it? We have a lot of folks in the chat room who may not have heard you at a book tour. What was your favorite childhood book?
Favorite childhood book was The Seawolf by Jack London. That was awesome. Wound up completely changing my perspective on religion and a little bit on life in general. And I found him to be just an awesome, masterful writer. Also, he did a lot of stuff in the Yukon, and reading about Jack London stuff was very akin, distantly akin to the winters we went through up in Sheboygan, where we would have, many feet of snow sitting around, and occasionally you would not hear from people for a while because the plow drove snow past their door and they couldn't get out. And every single year, I remember being there, we lost at least one human being to a snowmobile, a car, a truck, or a drunk person falling through the ice when they were going ice fishing. So therefore, I thought Jack London was pretty dope, and that's my favorite book as a kid. Still awesome.
Godfrey Lee asked that he had this idea. It would be easier to introduce his friends to Siglerism by showing them a short story instead of trying to get them to find the time to read a girthy novel.
Yep.
So I'd like to ask, which short story do you feel like is quintessential Sigler? He was thinking perhaps Passenger.
Passenger's pretty good. That's horror-wise, and go that way. I think Red Man is a nice one to kind of catch. It's A's favorite. Kind of catch people's attention. Another way to do it, of course, you have to get a whole book to do this, but if you have the book, you could share it, is if they've seen Aliens, share one of the Alien short stories. If they've seen Predator, share one of the Predator short stories. That's a pretty good way to do it. And then maybe if they have a sense of humor, Hunter and Sons. Mm-hmm. That's my best guess. There you go.
In the chat room, somebody's mentioned, Pondy has mentioned Snipe Hunt.
Oh, Snipe Hunt,
and,
yeah.
Akil has mentioned Splashing Contest. Those are
cool.
Sort of, you definitely get the Sigler vibe from those two, I think.
Yeah. All right. Let's do one more, and then we're going to go apply cool compress to our delicate, what do you call that?
Noggin?
Complexion. Our delicate complexion.
Let's see. I'm trying to avoid the ones with big spoilers.
Yeah, everybody going to Dragon Con, rock on. We are done traveling for a while. Rock on and watch out for people coughing.
If you could only have one season,
I love it, Allie.
What would it be?
One season?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. What season is it here in San Diego all the time?
I mean, I guess it's sort of late
we'll answer
spring.
That when we're done. Little earlier than this, so it's not so, sticky in the skivvies, hot. NZ Multimedia asks, are there any more plans for any more of the color series? Yes, there are. The stories for Death is Black are already done. We just haven't got around to assembling them yet because we have many things going on. So the next steps in the color series are, we got to get the website done because it's easier for us to sell stuff on the website. There's a lot of reasons. We've had the website for, 7 years plus, something like that? 8?
Well, you've had it since 2005. This one is from 2013.
Yeah, this one's 2013.
Decade,
So our priority is to get that done. Then once that's done, we'll move Death is Black into production, and eventually we'll wind up coming out with print-on-demand versions of all the color series. So
and the novellas.
And the novellas. And then we'll finish up the color series with Rot is Green. So yeah, we have a whole plan for them. Cover's done and everything, man. Cover's done and everything.
It looks like we missed saying football season.
No, we didn't.
As the favorite season.
Oh, yeah. Grawl and Rob both jumped on that. Damn it. Damn it.
Many people above.
Yeah, Tracy, the hippo
no,
as a short story. I think that's a pretty good one too. Okay, Michael, I don't know why you texted Hall & Oates, but I fired up Best of Hall & Oates during the writing room. It was time to clean up. There's only one thing you can clean up to. That's Daryl Hall and John Oates, the best-selling duo of all time, with more number one
also
hits.
Didn't know that.
More number one hits than any other musical artist except for Michael Jackson.
Is that true?
That's true. And actually, they may have more than Michael Jackson, but I don't want to start nothing. You know why? Because if you're going to be starting something, got to be starting something.
Okay, so that is it for this week's Sigler in Place. I am very happy to tell you that we will be back next week. We have mentioned a few times that moving into the fall, we may consider doing a less frequent Sigler in Place, but we will be back next week because we missed you just as much as you guys missed us. And that is on Wednesday, September 7th. Which is National Beer Lovers Day.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I jumped the gun. You want to do this?
Yes, I'll do that. If you have any ideas for bits on the show, if there's anything you want to know, if you have questions, etc.,
especially
if you've got
shout-outs,
want to ask, if you've got celebrations, questions you want to ask, anything you want us to talk about that's going on good in your life, go ahead and send an email to info@emptyset.com. Send in content ideas for Sigler in Place, questions for Sigler in Place. And again, that is info@emptyset.com.
Photos, junky photos, all that stuff.
And
then so until next Wednesday, we, as ever, want you to stay safe.
We want you to stay smart.
We absolutely need you to stay science, you guys.
And for the love of science, don't lock yourself in an upstairs room with poor ventilation for 2 hours and then turn on all of the computers and all of the lights and all of the electronic gear so that you sweat down in the sticky nether regions that we're not supposed to talk about.
And before we kiss off into the sky, I will say to the two good friends of mine who are also good friends of yours and junkies, Alicia and Scott, happy 50th birthday to you both. And to the two, Ollie and Kelly and Jen and Shannon, who are celebrating anniversaries on the 25th, 15th anniversaries on the 21st. Welcome meeting, say hello to your twins, and have a great time.
Eric Fisher wins the comment of the day. For the love of science, don't go up in a tiny room during all this heat. He says, Unless you have a black tank top.
I would like to say I've been wearing this all day. He changed right. He had a button down. It was smart. He looked smart.
I should have busted out some rips, you guys.
Show everybody your your empty set tattoo while you can. People ask him a lot, and he's always wearing a shirt that he can't show.
A lot of people have been asking me, what's your tattoo look like? And there it is right there. That is the empty set. Baby, you want to show them yours real quick?
Well, you do that. You can show them both. Mine is. It's hard for me to show mine, actually. There it is.
We're tatted up together, dog. Tatted up together. All right, so that is, and for the love of science, hold on, we'll go over here. Stay informed. All right, going back over here now. That's it. We're going to go get some ice water and chill, and I believe you all can, what can they do? I think they can all go kiss off into the sky. Absolutely. That's what you can all do. Ready, baby? Till next week. Mwah!